What's good, YouTube? It's Josh from Card Overflow, and I'm here with
Simon Heath.
And what'd you do this weekend?
I finished top 64 of YCS Dortmund.
Playing what deck?
Mine, Utopia, Tearlaments.
And did you like your deck?
I really liked it.
Awesome.
I really did.
Okay, cool. Any shoutouts before we get into the deck?
Quite a lot, actually. To Hans Aguero and Marcus Carisi, they pretty much built this deck, and most of that building credits goes to them. To James Chow of Gamer's Choice for providing cards. To Etienne Ita for being a great host, and to Christian Thomas for being a gentleman during our match.
Awesome. All right, let's do the deck.
For the Tearlaments side, you have 3 Merly, the standard stuff, Halfness, 3 Shorin, 3 Rhino. For the Tears, for the Shizus, 1 Ajido, 2 Medora, 3 what's it called, Keldo, and 3 Kelbeck. So this is because I play mine and I get to mill them out. When they're in the mine, I use these to shuffle, use these to mill the decks, and then shuffle mine, shuffle these back, and just keep recycling so they can't really get to their heartbeat most of the time, or whatever they have to out the mine. This is the only decision that my deck building circle agreed on, but I didn't really agree on. But in the end, there were some cards that I wanted a little bit more than this. I didn't really miss the amount of shufflers though. I wasn't like lacking in shufflers, but this quantity might be reconsidered. We have 1 Druid Worm. There's no space in here for like Magnamut, but I do side it. For the spells, we have 1 Double Nothing, 2 Tactics. I had 1 last week, but because this deck is like, you have Mystic Mine and stuff, which aren't great going first. There is a way to make it slightly better, but because there are some cards that are not great going first, I preferred like a little bit more going first cards this time. 1 Scream, 1 Set Rotation, 1 Heartbeat, 1 Terraforming, 3 Mine, 1 Instant Fusion, and 3 Pellerina. I don't think it needs that much explaining. I'll tell you some of the strategies after all the cards. For the traps, 1 Metaverse, 1 Crime, and 2 Solic. For the extra deck, we have 1 Phoenix. This is mainly to pitch this out of your hand if you draw it, and then you use shufflers to shuffle it back, and then you go for like undermine. You destroy their back row, whatever it is that could stop the Utopia OTK. Most likely Solic, and then you use this. Normal summon, get like 2 level 4s out, and then just Utopia OTK them. 1 Sprine, 1 Elf, 1 Dark, 1 Grua, 1 Kit, Rue Carlos, 1 Dragon, Collider Heart, Drago, Fistwaller, the Utopia package, Zeus, and Baguska. There was no space, like, because the Utopia stuff, there was no space for like Time Thief or anything else that was. I kind of wanted Gigantic in here as well with Downward, but there just is no space. For the side deck, we have these. These were so useless. I only sided him in once, and then I lost because he had this, so I wasn't able to do anything. I really think you should be playing as quick as possible during the mirrors, especially my build, because I don't really think you have any edge when you like game 3, even if you're choosing going first or second, because everyone's siding this and they have like orange lights or potentially Ladybug as well. So I think you're just dice rolling if you get to that point in game 3. And also because I play mine as a win condition, like deck out as a win condition, I should be playing like as fast as possible as I possibly can, so that I can potentially mine deck them out game 2 and game 3. So if it takes too long, mine deck out is not an option game 3 at all. It's just because like time will be called before they deck out. So yeah, like these could have been something else, to be honest. Yeah, 2 Twisters. I couldn't fit 3 in, but realistically, I needed this. Like discarding the Millers are really good against Flurundo is really good, and also when I side these in, I side this in as well, especially going first, because like if I go Shorin effect and they activate one of this, then I can use this or Heartbeat. Well, I have to set a card or set something first, like a Solic or like I play Pellerino. So if I go Shuren, they chain this, I chain this, discard the Shuren, so that I no longer special summon the Shuren, and I summon nothing, they gain nothing from this, and in the end phase lose 4,000.
Did you ever get to do that during tournament?
No, the only time that I got dogwooded, I didn't have like the heartbeat or the swing. I couldn't get rid of it. 3 dark holes. It's for like sprites, for is pendulum? No, not really. Sprites and flu and just any random matchup. 3 sphere mode for sprites, for mirror when they use like the divine or barone line, and pendulums and things like that. I actually phase 1 pendulum. This card was actually surprisingly good. It just was less impactful versus the mirror, because I did face one opponent that I did in Top Cut, that I did in Swiss, and he knew I was on this, so like going first, he's just not going to bring out 3 monsters, and this goes in for the mirror.
Can you explain why Dark Hole over Raigeki?
So you can clear your own board for mine as well, like if and you can trigger your own effects as well.
Right.
And that's mainly it. So like this deck, I honestly feel I don't have the credits to building this deck. I think it's probably one of the best decks in the room. It's just that personally, like honestly, I was not a very good pilot with it, because I basically used a sprite player for the past few months. I just dramatically switched to Tearlaments, never played it before last week. Like even though I scrubbed out super early in YCS Pasadena and then played it like the giant card, I managed to win it, but I was still like missing triggers during the event, missing a lot of effects. Like there's so many things going on. So this is like, even though it's a tier 0 format, apart from Dwellers sometimes, it's a very skillful format as well. Like you can see all the big names are in the Top Cut always, and like well deep into Top Cut. But yeah, as for this deck, I really enjoyed it because there's 3 win conditions. There's the normal Shizu stuff, Tearlaments stuff, there's mine, and there's Utopia double, which like in the mirror, like when you go second, I try to do my normal Shizu stuff. If I'm under Dweller and that doesn't work, I try to mine, and then I try to double. Like there's so many, they have to avoid so many things to win the game. Like sometimes if I can't mine them because they have an out to this, and I don't have like 2 mines, or like mine and metaverse or something like that, then I use it to bait and then allow myself to play, either go for the Ishizu stuff, the Tearlament stuff, or the Utopia stuff. So there's like a lot of options. Whereas if you just play the normal Tearlaments, I think you're at a bit of disadvantage going second, unless you have like a really high bestial count in your deck. So yeah, I really enjoyed this deck.
You said you wanted to show some of the...
Oh yeah. What was I saying about this? Yeah, like so some of the ratios was just this because of mine, because I can keep milling. I preferred one of this at first, but my testing circle was saying that like with this, sometimes you need to play under your own mind. So like if you can make a kit colors while they have like 2 or 3 monsters, you can start milling yourself, try to get to the millers, and then just like get rid of any monster because of this. So they'll still stay under mine. You just keep milling them until you get to these, until you mill their heartbeats, and then you shuffle back these and just keep milling them basically. One of the plays that you have to do if you don't open like really good and you're going first is just end on mine, this, and either Kit Kalos or just any sort of Tearlaments monster, maybe Merly. And it's really hard for them to play under mine, even though I have a monster. They can't like overcommit and just
lose to the mind,
overwhelm my board, and I can always just flip this, and then as soon as they start committing anything, I get rid of my monster, and then they're under mine for good. If they choose to just leave one monster and to get rid of the mine, and I choose not to do this, that's fine, depending on my hand. That means they pretty much ended their turn, and then I get to play. So there's lots of unique, like really nuanced situations to use this card, which is not obvious.
Right.
And to be honest, I'm not exactly like an expert with it as well. Like I said, I was like learning the deck as I was going. I feel like every game that I've lost in the tournament, apart from one game, was due to some sort of small or big misplay. And like this deck had so many things, like the ceiling for this deck, like to learn is like quite high.
How many times did you Utopia double your opponent?
like 6 times.
6 times.
Most of them in day 1. Okay, so like the Utopia double thing, if they know about it, they set stuff in defense. But which is also okay because then you get to use them. You get to dwellers use them like easier. But there's stuff that they could do to avoid it. That like the mine thing, it's hard for them to avoid. But the Utopia double thing, it's easier because they can make Mud Dragon, for example, and Core Light. So then the double or nothing can't target your Utopia. So you can't go for that OTK. You can use Solic, their Solic, to get rid of their Elf, because Elf, usually Utopia double over the Elf or Dweller. If it's like 17, it's not a boosted Dweller. There's like just putting stuff in defense, getting rid of the Elf, or using Mud Dragon. Yeah, there's various ways to avoid Utopia double if they know about it, but not mine.
Is there anything you would change about the deck if you were to play the tournament?
Yeah, there was a few things. I haven't really. I need to really analyze the deck properly and then go through a bunch of matches to see if one of this is really good or like just 2 of this is really good. Maybe I have to change it to a third tactic because sometimes like this deck can open, if you go first, can open some hands where you can't play as much. So you just have to end on a Solic Mine monster. And that still causes a lot of problems for them, but you're trying to, like as a tier player, you're trying to like open the Dwellers, Solic, like maybe Crime Havness, Elf and Rukalos kind of field. So I do want it to be a little bit more explosive going first, even though you have this as a backup. Like if you go first and then you have this as a backup and all the normal tier stuff, it's very, very hard in the mirror for them to break. So yes, sometimes they might be able to break the normal tier board even if you have Dweller. I've had it a few times. My opponent has done that, like they played well, but then they can't deal with mine. Then it's just over. Or they don't have enough defense after breaking through my board and I can just put 2 level 4s out, make Utopia double, and attack over. Like, it's like, you usually do get crackbacks on your board, but then they don't have enough defense for the other 2 win conditions.
Cool. Well, congratulations, Simon, and thank you for the deck profile.
Cheers, man.